That leads us into the next one, which is Lenin. Um, Far from causing harm to the revolutionary proletariat, sorry, there's an unhappy toddler. Far from causing harm to the revolutionary proletariat, participation in a bourgeoisie democratic parliament, even a few weeks before the victory of the Soviet Republic, and even after such a victory, actually helps the proletariat to prove to the backward masses why such parliaments deserve to be done away with. It facilitates their successful dissolution and helps make bourgeoisie parliamentarism politically obsolete. So, Lenin even makes the point that even if we disagree with the structures in which we are running in them exposes their failures, right? And can actually accelerate, the dissolution of, these bodies that aren't usually actually democratic, right? Like in the United States, we live in the United States. We like to talk about democracy, but this never was intended to be a democracy. This was a government by and of and for oligarchs from the beginning. And so even Lenin says, even if you don't support the institutions that you're running in, you can do, one of the tools that we have in our tool chest is to run in those elections and expose the systems that that we oppose. And I think an important thing to think about when we're having this discussion about party politics and electoralism, I think the main important point is to not think of it as either or. We've got to be doing electoralism, dual power, mutual aid, community organizing. We need many fronts of organizing if we're going to overcome capitalism. So, while we may kind of talk a lot about electoral stuff in this workshop because it's about party politics, that is not a advocacy that electoral politics is the end all be all, and where we should put even all of our even a large portion of our work. How much focus, we talk about this in our organizing workshop some, right? Like at any given time in your local organization, it may make sense or not to run people. It depends where you are in your development. But we should always keep it as a something in our tool chest, and something that I've always thought on this issue, as someone who's involved in electoral politics but hates them, much like Lenin seems to, is the idea that, like it or not, power has been sequestered within the electoral realm, not just in the United States, but in many ways for most of the world. And so if we are, as the left, as socialists, going to abandon, if we're going to abandon one of the main areas where power, the ability to exert power in our society exists, we're very much limiting ourselves, right? Like it or not, that's where it is. So we need to fight there. We also need to fight other places, but it's one of the places we need to, at least consider tactically, and not just write off. Do you have anything before I jump to the next, which changes?